This is the AM show. Welcome back, everyone. You're on 3 Magic Talk and online. For decades now, a lot of teenagers refuse to listen to what their parents say. Now, anyone who's been a teenager will know that's because most of what parents say is nonsense. These days, teens often block out their parents with TikTok or Instagram, go into their own little world. So how exactly can parents speak to their teenagers so that they will actually listen to them and not choose to rebel against anything that they say? Joining us now is youth life coach, Ellie Bambury. Hi, Ellie, how are you?
Hey, Ryan, I'm really well, thanks. How are you?
Very good. Youth life coach, what is that?
Basically, I call myself the big sister. It's someone that's not a psychologist or a therapist or a counsellor, but just someone that's external to the family and friend environment that can see an outside holistic perspective and actually work with young people to kind of help them navigate life.
So you're like the translator almost between the kids and their parents. You're trying to understand what the kid is saying and relay that to the parents who are like, what is going on with my child?
Often that's the case, yeah.
So you've been just telling me about an 11-year-old you've been working with.
Yeah, so I've got a number of kids and teenagers that I work with from the age of 11 right through to 24. And a recent story around this whole topic of listening and stuff is often I see parents are actually struggling to just take a step back and understand that sometimes there are other things going on for their kids, and it's not a personal attack if they're not listening to them. And with this 11-year-old, you know, a few weeks ago I saw her after the recent Auckland lockdown, and she just didn't want to go back to school. She was just struggling with the concept of being an intermediate, and her parents, her mum was saying to me, I don't know what's wrong, I'm not sure how to go about this, can you try and talk to her, try and get it out of her, type of thing, from the best intentions. And what I found is that when I got down to her level and really said to her, you know, school's hard, isn't it? And just got right down to what she was feeling before I even tried to give her any advice or suggest anything that would be helpful for her. She opened up straight away with what her idea of a better life would be and what her idea of a better education would be for her, and we talked through that, and she went back to school the next day.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, so are you saying in a way parents are a little bit too sensitive because they react when their kids don't behave like a perfect little child? They get all prissy about it.
It's a risky topic to talk about because, you know, people can react differently, but one of the main things that I focus on with my one-to-one coaching specifically is reframing. And with parents, you know, reframing the word listening, the concept of listening is weighted with so much expectation and pressure. It has to be eye contact or body language or whatever, responding in a particular way. But when that expectation isn't met, boom, you know, there's fire in the house basically. And I think it's really important to just step back and say, what does listening actually look and feel like to me, and why does it need to be that way? Because if your child has ears, they can hear you, right? Or in most cases at least. So if you can imagine that, reframing the word listening, instead of having to respond a certain way, just imagine first and foremost that they can hear you. And their response is an opportunity for you to get a window into what's going on for them on a deeper level. And whatever response they give you is an indication of how safe they feel to respond to that and what else is going on for them that is allowing them to respond that way.
Is it true though, when you talk to kids and you respond to them, that especially at that sort of 13, 14, 12 age group, they perceive everything as grounding them, everything is aggressive, even when you're not being that, but that's the way that they are perceiving you all the time?
In some cases it can be, but the way I look at it is that's a story, that's a narrative that's built up over time, you know, and I think that one of the main things I focus on when I work with youth one-to-one is actually looking at them as a human first and foremost that I'm having a connection with, an interaction with. I'm not anyone bigger than them or older than them. I'm not trying to be anything or give them anything or put anything on them. I'm simply giving them that space to just be themselves.
You're Switzerland.
Completely just, let it all out.
I like that. But what about in parents, when you've got a good cop and a bad cop with the parents and stuff, does that work with the teenagers, or do you think they should be on the same page playing the same role?
I'm a big believer that you need to be authentic. So, and everyone has good radars for when people aren't being authentic. And if you show up in conflict with each other, keep that private. Discuss that before you even address your teenager, because that's going to come across, and then they're going to play on that, obviously, because they know they can win one of you over. But yeah, I think it's just get on the same page before you address it, and actually ask yourself, what do I need? How do I need to show up to this?
Yeah, kids are going to see right through Mark trying to play a good cop, aren't they? Hey, thank you very much for that. Great to have you on the show this morning. Leadership coach, child youth coach, I should say, Ellie Bambury. The time is fast approaching 9 o'clock. That is it for today. Mark, the man.